Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So yesterday I showed you how to make fresh coconut ice cream. Today I'm going to show you how to make coconut palm sugar syrup. This is super yummy. This is, I'd say, one of the best syrups or sauces you can make for your ice cream. It pretty much tastes like caramel sauce or butterscotch sauce, a little bit in between the two. It's got a very rich, nutty flavor to it. And not only can you use this on top of your coconut ice cream, but you can also use it in place of honey, or you can replace maple syrup. You can use the coconut palm sugar syrup instead. And this is great for desserts. It's great for as a topping, or just to sweeten anything. Anything that you would use normally would use a syrup for, you can use this. All right, so let's get started. So what we'll need is a saucepan, 2 cups of water, plain water, and 500 grams of coconut palm sugar, or half a kilo. Now, my coconut palm sugar, I get it in chunks or in blocks or in bars, and I have to cut it down. So I'll show you, if you do get coconut palm sugar that isn't a block, it's best to cut it down before we use it. So I'll show you how to do that. When chopping down the palm sugar block, you don't need to grate the palm sugar. You just need to slice it into thin slices. Other times coconut palm sugar is also sold loose, so you don't even have to bother, and it'll just be a fine grain. And then if you do have a vanilla bean, definitely use it, just one. If you don't have one, don't worry about it, it's just optional, but it does give a nice flavor to the coconut palm syrup. So what we're going to first do is just put the ingredients in the pot. You're going to put all the sugar in the pot and the water, so it's covering it, and then you're going to throw in the vanilla bean, and then we're just going to put it on the stove and we're going to start boiling it. So we put this on the stove, and we're just going to put the stove on high and let it come to a boil. You don't want to touch it, okay? So no stirring, nothing. And don't put a lid on the pan, just leave it as is. It's now come to a boil, so what you're going to do is you're going to put it on low, okay? Because all you want to do now is let it sit and simmer. No stirring, no nothing. Just leave it still as is. Put the flame down to very, very low and let it simmer. Okay, so here is our coconut palm syrup, and it is being cooked down. As you can see at the surface, there is a lot of bubbles coming to the surface. That's what we want. This is cooking on a very low simmer. And also, as you see on the surface, there's the vanilla bean too that's risen to the top. So this has been on the stove simmering for 20 minutes now. And pretty much the longer you leave it on the stove to simmer, the more that the liquids will evaporate and the thicker the sauce will become. And then you'll get more and more of a syrup. So it's up to you how long you want to keep it. Pretty much the goal is that when you do take it off the stove, it has to be at a point where there is a lot of bubbles on the surface. So that's how we know it's been cooked through and it's more of a syrupy consistency. But you can leave it on the stove and simmer it for 20 minutes, or you can even do it at a very, very low temperature, up to an hour even, as long as you keep watching it to make sure that it's not burning. That's the main thing. But you can leave it on as long as you want, and the longer it's on, the thicker the syrup will become. Okay, so it's been simmering for 1 hour, so I'm going to take it off now. I'm just going to turn off the heat, and I will move the pot off the burner and onto another burner to cool off. Now we're going to transfer the syrup into a jar. So the syrup was left out to cool down, and then here it is. That is our coconut palm sugar syrup. Easy, easy, easy. And the one thing that I suggest is to store it in a glass jar in your refrigerator. And you can store it, I would say, up to 6 months to a year. I've had syrup in there for over a year and it's been fine. So you don't need to use it up immediately, and it's something that you can always have on hand, which is great. And if you want the full recipe and the instructions, everything will be written out on today's blog post at radiantcentral.com/blog, and all the info's there. All right, so have a super fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.